think this is an amazing opportunity. Like, I can't believe that like I've been able to work with actual cadavers, like during anatomy, being able to interact and like actually learn about the human body. Because I feel like in other high schools, like you don't get that kind of experience.
This morning, we learned how to process a crime scene. We learned all the steps to it, all the procedures, how careful we have to be with it. It's very interesting since it's hands-on, you get a visual of it, and some people are visual learners like myself, so I would like to get hands-on activity more often.
Whether or not these students pursue a career in criminal justice, the unique opportunities they've experienced will ultimately help prepare them for their futures.
I think it's a great opportunity. I think anything where they can get that hands-on experience or learn from other police officers, doctors, whatever it is they're interested in, I think is a great way for them to learn, and it gives them good mentors to have to help them in their future and what they decide to do with school and their careers.
I want them to learn that there's nothing that they can set their mind to that they won't be able to do. Whether they decide to go into criminal justice or they decide to go off into another path, whatever it is, I want them to know that they can do anything they put their mind to.
A lot of the kids come here to camp for water safety and science programs, and a lot of our parents have come here as children. And it's a way of reconnecting them to the environment, as well as a fun day to have with their children in an instructional environment as well.
I knew that Camp Young was a beautiful place, a nice setting to have this, and then also I thought it'd be a nice opportunity to meet other families, and it's a great opportunity to learn, and especially to learn how to teach your children better, and whenever you can have an opportunity to do that, it's great.
United Way has pulled together something called United for Children. And in that partnership, we've got the medical school, we've got the City of Norfolk, public housing, the school system, of course, United Way. Partners come together to say, what does it take to make sure children succeed?
One of the important things about our firm is the time that we spend in the community really adding value and making an impact to read to kids. And to bring books to them that they can take home with them. And it's one way that we touch kids and are able to make an impact in their lives.
Virginia's 2014 National Distinguished Principal, Ms. Lauren Campson.
I am so honored to think that, having spent my life doing the work that I love, which is teaching children, that all that work is being recognized now, and I'm very honored.
We have a collaborative style, so what I'm doing is we bring a topic to the table, we bring the resources that are necessary, we talk about what the current practices are, and then from a training standpoint, it's really about building capacity and understanding. We have some excellent principals that really know what they're doing, but we take it from another angle and look at it from a professional development standpoint in terms of improving the practices that we already have in place.
So I co-chair Virginia School Board Association Task Force on Schools in Challenging Environments. So our task force is looking at ways that, whether we're talking about school board members or local communities or VSBA or the General Assembly or localities, can come together and collaborate to make sure that all of our children, no matter their zip code, can have access to a high-quality education and be successful future workers here in Virginia.
Arts Festival is important because the arts are important and they're a big part of what we do in Norfolk Public Schools. Our kids benefit from their learning in the arts, and this is a time to showcase all their performance skills and have the public enjoy the fruits of their labor.
Kids make meaning of the world in lots of different ways, and one of the ways is through the arts and through thinking through the materials that they have at hand. The visual arts allow you to make decisions about what you're doing without having a lot of parameters.
Well, we have a summer program for low-income kids, and a lot of our students come from this particular school in Norfolk at Tidewater Park Elementary, and we had a great opportunity to work with the staff here to partner to do a Saturday program to help them get a little bit more of a jump on closing the learning gap.
You know, a lot of times I don't think there are enough programs for parents. And I think it's important to kind of even reinforce the things into parents, because we go through life and we get distracted with work and with different things. And it's important to bring them in and just to reinforce those values that we as a school system needs, because when the child wins, we win. When the school system wins, we win. When the parents doing their part, we all win.
Here at Mary Calcott, we have a significant amount of moms and grandmas involved here at our school, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to bring our dads out to the school and get more involved in their child's life and education.
Well, I've always been actively involved with both of my children, and I think it's very important that as fathers we stay involved with them throughout their education and being a positive role model throughout both of my children's lives, and it just makes sense.
A lot of them, they're still undecided about that next step. So we just want to give them opportunities to talk up to these schools, to these organizations about what they have to offer and how the students can be a part of those organizations. So to give them those kind of insights, bells going off so that they understand that, you know, I have options. It may not be what everyone else is doing, but, you know, they have somewhere to go after they graduate from Booker T. Washington High School.
I attribute almost everything to my high school career in Norfolk Public Schools. There's just been so many amazing opportunities, wonderful teachers I think have had the biggest impact, honestly. And beyond that, I'm in the International Baccalaureate program, which has provided me with so many opportunities to learn about things that I wouldn't otherwise get the chance to learn about.
It's an amazing feeling to know that I can go to college and, you know, persevere in my academics and, you know, maybe be an inventor as I wanted to be and take the majors that I want to without worrying about the financial aspect. To be honest, Norview High School is pretty much like, they gave me the foundation that I needed. You know, it all began here. Once I got here, I knew what I wanted to do already, but they pushed me up, and the faculty, the staff, my peers, they all helped me persevere to this level of excellence.
It's very easy to point out the problems. We don't celebrate the successes enough. And now it's my pleasure to introduce you to the Superintendent of Norfolk Public Schools, Dr. Samuel King. Dr. King is now in his third year as Superintendent of NPS. Under his leadership, among many things, Norfolk Public Schools engaged in a year-long community-wide effort to develop a 5-year strategic plan designed to transform Norfolk Public Schools into the cornerstone of a proudly diverse community. He has implemented the cycle for results throughout the district. It is a 6-step process of highly effective classroom teaching, and he is working with the City of Norfolk to build 5 new school buildings. Even with more than 30 years of public education experience, Dr. King continues to build his skills as a leader. His doctoral degree in education leadership is from the University of Sarasota. He was selected to join the Brood Foundation's National Urban Superintendents Academy, an organization where proven leaders participate in rigorous training forums to strengthen their abilities as overseers of urban schools. And next month, he will graduate as one of the first 20 superintendents in the country and the only one in Virginia to gain national superintendent certification through the American Association of School Administrators and the SUPS Academy. Let's give Dr. Samuel King a warm round of congratulatory applause as he comes to the podium to deliver the State of Norfolk Public Schools. Dr. King.
Good morning. It is truly a pleasure to be before you this morning, and I would like to quickly say thank you for your investment, because your mere presence here this morning speaks volumes in terms of the investment that is important for public education, more specifically public education for Norfolk public school children. 34,000, many to include the early learning piece and the early learning initiative, which I look forward to pinpointing later this morning. So again, thank you for being here. I am extremely proud of the many students, teachers, principals, and other division staff members who work tirelessly to be able to display such achievement as those that you witnessed during our introductory video. It is also inspiring to look out at this audience, as I mentioned earlier, and see so many members of our community who are committed to our public education system. Thank you for caring enough to take time out of your busy schedules to allow me to present to you the State of the Schools address. Your presence clearly exemplifies the belief that our public education system is a responsibility of more than just the individual schools that make up this division, but also is a shared responsibility of families and our entire community. Before I proceed, please join me in expressing gratitude to our Norfolk Education Foundation, their sponsorship of this morning's event, because it is a great undertaking. So let's give them a round of applause. I would like to thank them for their ongoing diligent efforts to ensure much needed investment in Norfolk Public Schools. In addition, I would also like to recognize our school board members. First, Chairman, Dr. Kirk Houston. Thank you for your service. Vice Chair, Ms. Courtney Doyle. Dr. Brad Robinson, thank you for being here. Mr. Rodney Jordan, thank you for being here as well. The tough work that comes with being public servants, such as the individual role of a board member, of course, is of paramount importance. You have chosen to be public servants, and with that comes severe challenges across the work in terms of ensuring that we keep the focus on what we refer to as the main thing. The main thing should always center on our children, not adult agendas. I also want to welcome our elected leaders and their aides, along with a special thank you to our team, inclusive of our principals and members of the superintendent's cabinet. Thank you for your dedication. Let's give them a round of applause as well. So as we move forward, this morning it is my great privilege to report to you that Norfolk Public Schools is taking a look into the future, determining the highest aspiration of our school division, and we are beginning to become relentless in our pursuit to make our vision a reality. We must continue to strive to become the cornerstone of our proudly diverse community. So where are we? You have heard me say before, and I have not wavered. In a true democratic society, the power is vested in the people. More than 200 years ago, our democracy made a pact. In essence, that pact promised that every child would receive a free and appropriate public education. Who ensures that this promise is fulfilled? We, the people, are responsible. I, as a superintendent, am charged with upholding that promise by ensuring that the children who attend schools in my system receive the best possible education and that the individual attention that they need to succeed and become capable contributors to our democracy really will come to fruition. As a superintendent, I must be held accountable. We don't denounce accountability. I must be held accountable along with all the members of my democratic society, accountable to deliver the promise of educating each and every child through a fully funded process, regardless of the challenges. This process should be considered as urgent and as necessary as the funding of a war designed to protect the very society that pledges to educate our children. Again, the power is vested in the people. So let's be clear. This community said to us during the inception of our strategic plan a couple of years back that we must not allow internal or external factors to adversely affect our pursuit of excellence. So where are we? I ask again. Our 5-year strategic plan, which is in year 2 of implementation, should be poised to provide us with a clear and present roadmap to guide our journey. However, flexibility, the notion of being fluid, keeping the focus on our children and not the adult agenda will always be of paramount importance. By implementing the strategic plan with great fidelity across these tenets, the school division will flourish. And by working with the school board to continuously monitor our progress, we are step by step setting the conditions that will allow us to ensure that all students begin to meet and eventually exceed state standards. Not just meet, but move forward in terms of being ultra successful. These efforts are producing improvement across many areas of the school division as we speak, but not enough, because progress at this point is incremental. So why am I so emphatic about the belief of progress, one might ask? As I am able to escape the confines of my office and venture out to visit schools, such as my most recent opportunity to visit Poplar Halls, for example, to visit Taylor Elementary, to visit Sewell's Point, or Larchmont Elementary, just to name a few, as I must also add the routine lunches, the lunch meetings that I'm able to have to engage with principals across E-SPAN, our elementary school principalship association, middle school, high school, also extremely important. I become excited and encouraged. Excited and encouraged because I have the opportunity to enter the classrooms with principals, to actually have conversations with students. I urge you to try it. Conversations about the things that they are learning, particularly and specifically for that day. Can they articulate that? Do they know the essential questions aligned to the SOL standards? I know that's education needs, but it's extremely important for our work. I see evidence, as I'm able to do so, that our children are increasing the rate at which they are beginning to master standards that are going to ultimately lead us to the accreditation status that we all desire. That's clear. That's a desire for 100%. These children represent the reason why I can lift my head each day, lift my head from my pillow each day, put on the full armor, and become more and more fanatical and tenacious about educating each and every child, each and every child, each and every day. Or maybe it is an experience such as one of my most recent, when a group of students from Norview High School voluntarily approached me. They approached me during our Community King Day ceremony. They approached me carrying a banner. The banner was one that called for unity, justice, and equity in the process of education in our community. These are our students that get it. These are our students that realize that that is extremely important. They get it. They simply wanted a photo and invited me to come back to visit them at their school later, to talk to their leadership group about what it means to display leadership in this community and beyond. And what does that mean to eradicate the very challenges that will face this nation and continue to face this nation until we close the gap between those that are affluent and those that are economically disadvantaged. And I'll touch on that in a few minutes more deeply. These students truly epitomized that cold morning, the meaning of making Martin Luther King Day a day on, not a day off. Many of you know what I mean. I owe it to these youngsters to give them my all, each and every day. My all, each and every day. I owe it to these youngsters to be a courageous advocate for their success. All students, as I mentioned earlier and alluded to, affluent, economically disadvantaged, or any racial or ethnic subgroup, it matters not. It is very important to identify and celebrate the incremental growth that we are seeing so that we may replicate and accelerate it. At the same time, we must admit and continue to have a laser-like focus on our clear and present challenges, as we join together to do this noble work. As you are aware, full accreditation is our state's absolute accountability measure. We must continue to strive to ensure that the incremental student progress that we are beginning to see, that it accelerates to a level that results in full accreditation for all schools, so that all of our schools attain that absolute. Reaching this goal requires that we move all students from where they are currently simply forward. We must maximize their academic potential, develop their skills for lifelong learning, and help them become successful contributors to a global society. Student achievement growth is crucial. We are proud that the overwhelming majority of our schools demonstrated improved student performance in at least one state-required area during the last school year. However, not enough. And many schools had double-digit gains. 186 of our teachers achieved 90% or higher pass rates among their students on the Virginia Standards of Learning exams. 78 of those highly effective teachers facilitated 100% of their students passing the SOL tests. Let's give them a round of applause for their work. The rubber truly meets the road with the teacher in the classroom being highly effective as they deliver high-yield strategies, in addition to building-level leaders being extremely effective to model and facilitate that process. As I think back to the position of teaching, which is my initial step, I will say to you, I will always be a teacher first. That's at my core. That's my DNA. Our teachers are absolutely dedicated to their students. They're dedicated to their students' success, no doubt. And I fully appreciate all the time, effort, and care they bring to this profession. At the same time, I am convinced that they have chosen to embrace one of the most challenging professions in the world. Because of our dedicated educators, we are encouraged that math performance increased significantly district-wide last year, yet not enough. And this continues to increase as we monitor benchmark assessments thus far this second year. We must remain keenly focused on sustained student achievement increases. It allows for a seamless movement toward infusing STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics across our entire school curriculum. For me, this translates into the importance of college and career readiness for the success of our students. Our graduates of 2014 earned nearly $40 million in scholarships to post-secondary programs. Norfolk Public Schools students also earned more than 2,000 industry credentials last school year through our career readiness programs. Enrollment in the district's 25 distinct advanced placement courses continues its steady climb. The number of students enrolled in at least one AP course has increased by 13% over the past 4 years. Another component vital to school division success is that of community partnerships. The reason that you're here this morning. Research clearly shows that high-quality public schools are collaborative ventures of the entire community. Through our Norfolk Education Foundation's stewardship, our partnership outreach efforts grow stronger each year. Thus far, 2014, 2015, we have had more than 4,000 community participants in our school divisions initiatives. For that, thank you. And I think that deserves a round of applause as well. So why do I emphasize that notion? Because that old adage that states that it truly requires a village is one that will loom large for us if we are not focused on the same path, the same vision, and rowing in the same direction. Business and community leaders have come together under the auspices of the United Way of Southampton Roads and United for Children in a collective action effort to assist children and families, reduce learning gaps, and ultimately break the cycle of poverty. That requires collaboration. United for Children provided full summer programs at PB Young, working with our school division. It included Tidewater Park. As we move forward, the team also is working with Ruffner Academy and Booker T. Washington High School to determine high-yield partnership opportunities. Again, as I emphasize that notion, all of those items must reflect action steps within a blueprint to lead us to seeing our vision become a reality, driven by the experts in this organization, but supported by the stakeholders of the community. Also, faith-based leaders from across Hampton Roads gathered this past fall. They gathered for our first ever Faith Partners Summit. The purpose was to discuss how faith organizations and schools can partner for student success. Next month, we will host our annual Principal for a Day event. Once again, I urge you to be immersed in that process. We expect 60 business and community leaders that they will have the opportunity, the chance to walk alongside our school principals to see our day-to-day endeavors and our day-to-day challenges. Of course, developing the whole child is extremely important. This is why Norfolk Public Schools is fortunate to have such strong, effective art, music, and athletic programs. Mr. Jack Baker, who recently recorded his 700th win as head basketball coach. Let's give him a round of applause for that. So before I continue with that, you may ask, well, why do you mention? What's important about that? It is important because extracurricular activities are extremely important and paramount in the success of children, because if they're engaged, then they're engaged in something positive. And extracurricular activities should serve as incentive to the academic program. So let's not be confused about the purpose of that. Maury High School student Matt Coleman recently ranked as the top sophomore point guard in the United States. Lake Taylor High School. Lake Taylor continues as an athletic powerhouse in the state of Virginia, with the Titans football team recently claiming its second championship. Another round of applause. My intent is to have you tired by the time you leave this morning. So, Coach Hank Sawyer and his wife Sandra, who coaches the girls basketball team that won the state championship, of course, title, they are all inspirations to the students in athletics and in life. Student athletes, that's the key phraseology. Darnell Ewell was named as an all-state football player and is an honor roll student athlete. Congratulations, young man. I remember when I met him as an 8th grader. I thought he was in high school then. And he has a heck of a grip, too, when you shake. So, and stellar academically. I think 3.7, thereabout. Okay, all right, good. Okay, let's talk academics just for a moment, briefly, and I will close at some point. On the academic side, we're very proud of Granby, Norview, Booker T High School, Lake Taylor High School. As I mention these, and I'll mention others as we move forward, accolades should be given because there's a notion where the Model United Nations diplomats, as part of the 2015 NATO Festival, will recognize our students as they participate across multiple high schools within Norfolk. That's what we mean when we allude to being globally competitive, that you're able to commingle, coexist, and collaborate across multiple audiences. All of these highlights are indicators of how Norfolk Public Schools, in partnership with our community, continues to advance our strategic plan and continues to provide excellent options and opportunities to thousands of students each year. But we must continue to hone our skills. We must continue to get better. We must continue to be relentless as we do the work. We are honored that because of the positive momentum and because of our clear determination to defy the norm for urban education, Governor Terry McAuliffe chose Norfolk Public Schools as the site where he decided to announce his major education initiative. Through it all, we know many challenges remain along our journey to ensure that all students meet and eventually exceed state standards, and then move on in that process to become successful, productive members of the future workforce, college and career ready. Our major focus for this year through our strategic plan is on building the expertise of our teachers and our leaders to drive student achievement forward. For teachers, this means additional laser-like professional learning that emphasizes high-yield classroom strategies to help students achieve at the very highest levels possible. We're extremely pleased this year to offer a national-level principal training program in partnership with AASA, American Association of School Administration. The Superintendents Association partners with the SUPS Academy along with Norfolk Public Schools to deliver this cutting-edge, national-level, innovative leadership effectiveness training. Through this outstanding program, our principals are honing their skills, honing their instructional leadership, so that they can become even more effective with producing continuous student achievement gains. Our governance leadership team continues to engage in governance training through a partnership with the Virginia School Boards Association, the National School Boards Association, and CUBE, Council of Urban Boards of Ed. The focus for governance at any particular time as it relates to the governance leadership team made up of the school board and the superintendent, that focus must always be on research-based best practices in urban school divisions to get the ultimate goal of excellent results for students. Another focus for the school division is to work even more effectively on student literacy, striving to ensure that all children are reading on grade level and above by 3rd grade. You know the statistics. We simply must close that gap. Again, as we plan to roll out our blueprint, there is an identification of high quality early learning needs from preschool through grade 2 as critical to developing literacy skills for children, for our children. Norfolk Public Schools currently serves nearly 2,200 children for full-day preschool classes at our schools and centers. That's currently. We are pleased that the Virginia Department of Education included Norfolk in a successful federal grant award that will allow us to expand our preschool program by more than 200 students next school year. Even with that expansion, however, there will continue to be a waiting list of 3- and 4-year-olds across Norfolk who could benefit from high-quality preschool. The work continues. Therefore, funding continues to be of paramount importance. In Norfolk, the current gap between projected revenues and what we truly need in order to sustain our blueprint stands at about $15 million. We are appreciative that our mayor, our city council, and our city manager have prioritized education aligned with our blueprint. They have endeavored to fill the gap left by state funding in multiple recent years. Meanwhile, my administration and our school board have worked to be excellent stewards of our resources, seeking efficiencies and evaluating every dollar spent for its alignment with the strategic plan. We will continue to move forward to tackle the challenges because we simply must. This school year, very visible components of our transformation initiative began to roll out, following an 8-month educational facilities planning process. This process concluded this last spring. The Transformation Initiative is designed to provide access to rich, rewarding learning opportunities across Norfolk. 15 schools have introduced specialized themes, such as Montessori Concept and AVID, Advancement via Individual Determination, which is a nationally recognized college and career readiness program. Also, 4 of our schools, Poplar Halls in Fairlawn and Tidewater Park in PB Young, were reconfigured to be paired schools beginning this past September. One of the schools in each pair serves pre-kindergarten through grade 2, and its partner school serves grades 3 through 5. This change is allowing principals and teachers at each building to become experts in teaching and learning. Also, in September, we were thrilled to provide new hope to approximately 130 students who were not on track for graduation. In addition to seizing the opportunity to attract back students who had already dropped out, we welcomed these students to our new Norfolk Public Schools open campus, a Magic Johnson Bridgescape Academy. Round of applause, please. These students are taking advantage of the opportunity to now graduate with full high school diplomas and secure bright futures for themselves, while Norfolk Public Schools has the chance to reduce dropout rates and continue to increase graduation rates. At this time, I would like to pause and share a brief video about the impact of Open Campus.
Students who dropped out of high school or are behind on their credits now have a new opportunity to graduate or catch up. Norfolk Public Schools Open Campus, a Magic Johnson Bridgescape Academy. The division partnered with Magic Johnson Bridgescape in order to give 125 students a second chance at their education. The Academy, which has morning and afternoon sessions, is helping dropouts and overage for grade students succeed through a unique curriculum that's specially tailored to each student. These students take 2 courses at a time through an online program that's proving to be very popular.
I like it because they enroll you in 2 classes at a time. So like right now, I enrolled in geometry and English. So it's like I like the way they set it up. Instead of you going to all these classes in one day, you gotta get this done in a certain time, and it's at your own pace. So I like it better.
What my favorite thing is that we get to work on the computer, and it's like I get to do all the work. I don't have to just sit there and take unnecessary notes or hear unnecessary things all day long until like we only finish like a little bit of work. But I get to do all my work.
They're making choices about what they're working on daily. While they're enrolled in 2 courses, today might not be a good math day. Today might be my English day, and I'm feeling more drawn to that. And so they have choices, and they've got some control over the situation.
It's the same material that they would see in a traditional classroom, but in a computerized setting. And so for many of our students who are digital natives, they love computers, they're on their phones all the time, iPods, those kinds of things. It captures their attention in a way that they wouldn't necessarily have in the same classroom.
It's not just the innovative format that has students excited. Clearly, the consistent support and encouragement from teachers who are just as enthusiastic about being here keep these students coming back.
The teachers help me out tremendously to me. Like, whenever I need help, you just ask for it and they do the best they can to help us, even if they're not really good with that subject.
The teachers and stuff, they are awesome. They are so nice. And then I have my own advisor's number, so when I'm going to be late, if I can't come, I can text her. She'll text me back. I need help at home online. She texts you back.
I feel really good about that because a lot of the teachers, just like in regular school, they're distracted by so many students. But here you get like really one-on-one time.
Whether they're working online at home or in the classroom, many of these students realize that Open Campus is providing them with what may be their last chance to receive a high school diploma.
It's important to me because I have 2 kids at home who I really need to step up my game and just like get my life on track for them, and also for myself, because after I get my diploma, I want to go to college and be a preschool or kindergarten teacher.
When I started going to school, people kept saying, like, you need to stop procrastinating, you need to go get your GED, but they don't realize that I didn't want to go get it because I did not want a GED, like I wanted a diploma. And just to know I can come here and get it a little faster than a regular school year, it means the world.
So can we sell our children short? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We have to do more than give lip service when we say we want to see our dropout rate decrease and our graduation rate increase. Those are politically correct statements. However, in order to do it, we have to do it through non-traditional approaches. What you have just witnessed, and many of you have had a chance to visit, is really the epitome of what children can do. So there are many diamonds in the rough that are out there that we must do each and every day all we can to pinpoint. But the innovation continues. With the new Academy for Discovery at Lakewood scheduled to open in September 2015 at the site of the former Lafayette Winona Middle School, the school will be a citywide choice school, our first in that capacity, open to all students in grades 3 through 8. The school will offer an innovative teaching and learning environment focused on project-based learning throughout the process. The new school is also in the process of applying and accepting applications to host an international baccalaureate middle years program. We're hopeful that families will continue to apply. The excitement will continue because Norfolk Public Schools and the City of Norfolk are partnered in undertaking the largest building project this city has seen in decades, in my view. Together, we're going to build 21st century learning environments for the children of Norfolk. A new Compostela school represents the beginning of this outstanding school construction project. Compostela School will serve grades kindergarten through 8 with a STEM focus, as well as a swim component in partnership with the city's new Southside Aquatic Center. The new building will have state-of-the-art science labs, lecture halls, and integrated STEM across the curriculum. The school will host competitive academic teams such as STEM, of course, engineering, science Olympiad, and robotics. We will welcome students from across the division to apply for choice seats, in addition, that will be made available in the new Compostela. New buildings for Richard Bowling, Larchmont, and Ocean View Elementary Schools will follow quickly behind Compostela. Each school will offer academically rigorous themes agreed upon in collaboration with the school communities. Choice seats will be available for students from across the district. In addition, the opening of a new Ocean View facility will allow us to repurpose the neighboring Willoughby Elementary as a pre-kindergarten center, focusing on those critical early learning skills I mentioned earlier. Norfolk Public Schools, in partnership with the city and business community, is also in the process of planning, moving forward, building a prospectus with the goal of outlining the program for a new comprehensive career and technical academy at the high school level. These are things that we've talked about for quite some time. We're actually getting traction around that planning process. The planning continues. Once successfully planned, the new high school can, and hopefully will, be designed to offer unparalleled college and career preparation, with an emphasis on the STEM career fields that will be the economic engines of the future. These are tremendous accomplishments of which all Norfolk citizens can be proud. I believe we have many reasons to be encouraged today and to be very hopeful for tomorrow. And if we need further inspiration, we need only to look to our bright students and our talented administrators, staff, and teachers who bring life to the transformation of our school division each and every day. This is why I am pleased that the Norfolk Education Foundation has granted me the privilege today of announcing 3 of the teachers who have won Seeds for Success mini grants. Teachers, when I call your names, please come forward if you're present. The first mini grant is an elementary school art teacher who is using art to expose students to cutting-edge technology and math, along with science concepts, in addition to high-level visual arts. This teacher will use his mini grant to purchase computer-animated design software so that students can design solutions to engineering problems and manipulate objects to create unique artwork. The teacher's elementary students will be using software that is typically only available for college students. The winner of this $1,699 mini grant is Mr. Chris Huntsicker of Ingleside Elementary. Please come forward. Congratulations again. The second mini grant winner is a middle school gifted resource teacher who will help her 6th grade students construct an outdoor classroom so that they can design and conduct garden experiments, then analyze and articulate their data. Students will be able to see firsthand the effects of their experiments on an ecosystem and become inspired about environmental stewardship. The winner of the second mini grant for $1,905 is Ms. Tanya Scott of the Academy of International Studies at Rosemont. Congratulations, Ms. Scott. Our third winner is a high school career and technical education teacher who is the advisor for an award-winning Girls in Engineering program. The Girls in Engineering at Granby High took 2nd place last summer in the Mid-Atlantic Remote Operated Vehicle Competition and became the first team in our region to win an opportunity to compete at the international competition. This grant will allow the team to continue working with the Marine Advanced Technology Education Center, underwater robots, in a real-world environment. It will also allow Granby boys to join the competition, adding more students, testing their design skills against each other. Please join me in congratulating Mr. Roger Legess. Mr. Legess won $1,500 to continue inspiring children in the field of engineering. Again, congratulations. We certainly are appreciative for all that our teachers do in the classroom. Learning about the many outstanding things our students and teachers are accomplishing together gives me great pleasure. We're on the right track toward public schools' vision, our public schools' vision, of becoming the cornerstone of our proudly diverse community. Please take this message of hope, growth, and success back to others within your spheres of influence, and join us as we continue building an excellent, innovative public education system for the city of Norfolk. With that, I thank you for your presence, and I thank you for your investment in this nation's greatest resource, our children. Good morning.